Are you Robin?
Yes.
Okay, we got some stuff to serve to you.
Okay.
All right, can you step out when you're ready for me?
Yeah, get on there.
Breaking news at 4. News 6 has obtained body cam video showing the rearrest of the wife of the suspended Osceola County Sheriff. What we're learning about her second arrest. Plus, a plea hearing in a deadly road rage shooting from nearly a year ago. The major player who stepped in to change the script. And later, we've covered the stench in Sanford before. We're looking at a new fix on the way.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 4 p.m.
When News 6 learned suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez's estranged wife was arrested again last week, we wanted answers. We knew the arrest had something to do with her bail application, but did not know what specifically until this afternoon. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest just got his hands on new documents about the arrest. So, Mike, what did you learn?
Well, Lisa, a couple months ago, Robin Severance Lopez raised her hand in a courtroom and swore under oath that she did not have access to much money. But investigators here say that was simply not true. News 6 has just obtained this police video showing Robin Severance Lopez being taken into custody last week. Now, Severance Lopez was originally arrested way back in June, accused of taking part in a massive illegal gambling operation alongside her estranged husband, suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez. Now, Severance Lopez was eventually released from jail on bond, but she was required to wear one of those GPS ankle monitors, and she had to pay $10 a month for that monitor. Well, back in August, Severance Lopez asked a judge to remove that GPS monitor, claiming she could not afford it.
Given that you're not receiving any income from working and that your personal account is frozen, can you afford the $10 per day for the GPS monitor?
No, I can't.
Now, at that August hearing, Severance Lopez testified under oath that she did not have access to any bank accounts other than the ones she shared with her estranged husband. But just days before that hearing, investigators obtained these photos that reportedly show Severance Lopez going into 2 different banks in Kissimmee and opening up 3 separate bank accounts under only her name. Now, authorities have blacked out Severance Lopez's face in these photos before giving them to us because she is the spouse of a law enforcement officer. Now, on the day of that court hearing where Severance Lopez testified that she could not access her personal bank accounts, investigators say she had more than $16,000 sitting in those new bank accounts. Well, Severance Lopez has pleaded not guilty to providing false information. For now, it appears she'll remain in jail while she awaits trial for her alleged role in that illegal gambling operation. Her estranged husband, the suspended sheriff, he remains out of custody while awaiting trial. Reporting live in the newsroom, Mike DeForest, News 6.
Mike, thank you. We will put more updates on the case against Severance Lopez on clickorlando.com. You can also go online for all of our coverage of her first arrest and the investigation into her husband, suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez. All right, we want to check in now with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas because the other big story of the day is this glorious weather that we are experiencing right now. A lot of people, probably kids heading out the door this morning wearing the hoodies and the jackets, and you might need them again tonight.
You think you'll need them even more so tonight, and then again on Saturday morning. I think that's when the coolest of the mornings settle back in. Right now, it is nice and comfortable if you like it on the cooler side, a little breezy, especially along the coast tonight, mid-70s for us in Titusville, Oviedo. We're hanging around 70 degrees right now. We have a lot of upper 60s on the map. We're at 68 in Wildwood, the Villages. We're also into the upper 60s, all because of the cold front again that moved through overnight and into early this morning that is continuing to slice through the Bahamas and off the eastern seaboard. That's also, you see there, deflecting Category 2 Hurricane Melissa off of our coast, again, allowing it to pass safely out to sea. And it is pushing it towards Bermuda, where they will have to watch. But again, for us, it is keeping us protected from any kind of impacts other than at the beach. It is going to churn up and get the rip current risk back on the higher side again. Hour by hour forecast, we're back to the upper 40s and lower 50s by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. We'll go neighborhood by neighborhood coming up at about 4:17 and talk about those temperatures, Lisa.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. A criminal case that became a point of contention between Orange Osceola State Attorney Monique Worrell and Florida Attorney General James Uthmeier ended today with the defendant cutting a plea deal. That defendant was charged in this deadly road rage shooting from last year. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti was in court today for the hearing with the unexpected turn of events.
The purpose of Thursday's hearing was for a judge to hear the defense's motion to dismiss. It was slated to last several hours, as Tina Algio's defense attorney was expected to make an argument for why he believes his client acted in self-defense, and thus the case should be dismissed. But we now know that never materialized.
How would you like to plead, ma'am?
No contest, Your Honor.
Tina Algio adjudicated guilty Thursday on an aggravated battery charge in connection to the death of Mikhail Svetkov. As part of the plea deal, Algio will spend 18 months behind bars, and prosecutors dropped the murder charge.
Based on the interference of the Attorney General, this is the justice that this case has come to.
State Attorney Monique Worrell is referring to the letter Attorney General James Uthmeier sent her last month, urging her to drop the prosecution against Algio. The letter was accompanied by this video shared on social media.
Under Florida law, she justifiably stood her ground and acted in self-defense.
Prosecutors had argued that Algio provoked Svetkov, who was seen on video opening Algio's car door and appearing to punch her while she was inside. Seconds later, she shot him. Worrell contended Algio escalated the road rage incident when her car hit Svetkov's. That act represented the aggravated battery charge.
Look, it was a difficult case, and it's tough.
Defense attorney Mark O'Mara's interpretation of what happened that day, December 2nd, 2024, differs from Worrell's. But the two share a similar perspective on how the Attorney General has comported himself as far as this case is concerned.
I think it was horrific. I agree with Ms. Worrell in that sense. I think it was horrific. Beneficial to my client, maybe in some weird sense, but I don't think it's appropriate for any politician to get involved in the system.
In response to Thursday's plea deal, Attorney General James Uthmeier posted this to X, quote, "We're glad to see that Orlando State Attorney Worrell took our advice and dropped the unjust murder charge against Tina Algio this morning. Ms. Algio clearly acted in self-defense. In Florida, we will protect the right to stand your ground against violent aggressors," end quote. Meanwhile, Algio is expected to report to the Department of Corrections on December 27th to begin her 18-month sentence. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Mike, thank you. Taking a live look at the Capitol now, where yet again politicians in Washington, D.C. have failed to reach an agreement to keep the federal government funded. The pain of the government shutdown, now in its 30th day, will soon turn to hunger for millions of Americans who rely on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program known as SNAP. The Trump administration says funding will run out on Saturday, but states have sued to keep the program running during the shutdown. Erica Brown has the details from Capitol Hill.
In this Denver neighborhood, Urja Padel's Holly Market is one of the few places local families buy groceries.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
More than 70% of Padel's customers use SNAP benefits to purchase food.
We can survive this month. I mean, barely. Thankfully, I'm worried about everybody else. Feeding their kids, feeding themselves.
Colorado is one of more than 24 states suing the Trump administration to use emergency funds authorized by Congress to keep the SNAP program running during the government shutdown. Both sides were in court Thursday.
The money's there, over $6 billion in emergency funds that could keep SNAP going, and Trump has said don't spend a dime.
Republicans are pushing Senate Democrats to support a short-term spending bill that would immediately reopen the government, but the measure has failed to advance 13 times.
The Democrats are ready to continue this shutdown, I guess forever.
Both Republicans and Democrats say there are some talks underway among rank-and-file senators to find a way to end the shutdown and avoid lapses in benefits for the most vulnerable Americans.
We're seeing more discussions. Some of the Democrats I talked to are exasperated themselves and see no real benefit politically or otherwise.
The talks will go nowhere if Republicans remain completely intransigent and resistant to any compromise on extending the health care coverage.
Democrats continue to insist any deal must include an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies to keep health care premiums affordable. Those premiums are set to increase Saturday when open enrollment begins for the Affordable Care Act. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And as the shutdown continues, we are continuing to dig into one of the biggest concerns for 1 in 8 Americans, a lapse in those SNAP benefits. We'll have more of our coverage on the local impacts to the ongoing government shutdown coming up on News 6 at 5 and 6. Central Floridians are working to help the people of Jamaica as cleanup from Hurricane Melissa gets underway. After the break, the aid going from Central Florida to impacted communities.
It was an experience. One you never hope to go through again.
And later, the warning one couple has the next time you think about buying travel insurance.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
I'm Joey. This is Kara, and we are your News 6 Insider guides taking you on a wild ride through Central Florida.
On Everyday Wild, Joey hunts down the cool creatures we share this land with and snaps pictures of them from a wildlife photographer's view.
This week, I'm on the trail of Florida's unofficial mascot, the American alligator. We went to Apopka Wildlife Drive and got some incredible photos.
Want to see the full video and all the awesome pictures? Head on over to clickorlando.com/insider.
Joining our Insider crew is free, easy, and the best way to stay in the loop on our Central Florida adventures.
Plus, don't forget your chance to nominate your favorite teacher for the News 6 Educator of the Week Award, sponsored by Osborne & Francis Law Firm.
Sponsored by Orange County Library System.
At least 5 bodies have been recovered in southwest Jamaica as search and rescue teams work to reach some of the areas hardest hit by Hurricane Melissa. The storm is blamed for at least 28 deaths, though that number is expected to rise. 2 days after the storm made landfall on the island, thousands of people are still without power. Jamaica's international airports are resuming operations, allowing relief organizations to fly in supplies, including from here in Central Florida. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez shows us how one of our oldest oldest amusement parks, Gatorland is stepping up to help.
Gatorland Global has started an emergency relief fund to help the people and animals in need of a helping hand after this major storm. Last spring, Gatorland created a nonprofit.
So Gatorland Global is a 501c3 that works very hard with different communities throughout the world and also with animals throughout the world to try and protect, conserve, and educate about those animals.
Now Gatorland Global is helping people and critters hit hard by Hurricane Melissa.
Jamaica is very, very close to our heart.
Savannah Bone, the international ambassador for Gatorland Global, frequently visits Jamaica to work with the Holland Bay Crocodile Sanctuary in St. Thomas and the Hope Zoo in Kingston. To help both of them bounce back, the nonprofit has started an emergency relief fund.
So I know a lot of trees have come down, and I know a lot of fences have been compromised. So I know they're very busy right now building those fences back, getting those trees removed, getting the floodwaters out.
The money will support the zoo and the sanctuary by helping the animals and their caretakers.
Lots of families, you know, like if your dad or your mom works at the Hope Zoo, like your family, because you live around there, might have some needs that we might be able to meet, or we might be able to give you some money to help meet those needs.
100% of the proceeds will go directly to funding animal rescue and rehabilitation, enclosure and habitat repairs, and humanitarian aid.
Americans go to Jamaica all the time, and we have so much fun there, right? Like, we love the beaches, we love the people, we love the food. It's a good opportunity for us to give back to Jamaica.
Again, all proceeds go directly to help the sanctuary and the zoo and the people who are there taking care of the animals. We do have a link if you would like to donate over at this story at clickorlando.com. Reporting in Orlando, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Stephanie, thank you. We put more ways you can help the people impacted by Hurricane Melissa on the homepage of clickorlando.com. Just look for this article. And we want to bring in meteorologist Jonathan Kagas now. We're seeing some of the damage in Jamaica, just absolutely terrible. What is the latest with Melissa right now?
Yeah, not done yet. Still a Category 2 storm, re-intensified again as expected as it moves very close to Bermuda. They can handle it on the island, especially with the center expected to stay offshore, but hurricane warnings are in play. It is now booking out of the northeast at about 30 miles an hour. So after its slow crawl for days in the Caribbean, now being picked up by the same system that brought us all the cooler air this morning. Maximum sustained winds still at 105 miles an hour. Much quieter behind the front that is steering Melissa away from Florida. It's a live look downtown Orlando with our Light Orlando delivering Hope Skycam. Just a few of those puffy clouds out there. As we lose the heating of the day, we're going to lose those clouds. Right now, where we have air temperatures at the airport at 71, that breeze is up there, sustained at about 15 to 20 miles an hour across the region. And we're going to keep it elevated through the next several hours, and we will watch it gradually back off through the overnight. 69 right now in the Villages. Palm Coast, we're also at 69. 72 in Kissimmee. Holopah, we are checking in at 72 degrees. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen.
Heading out tonight, you might want the jacket. We're going to cool things down quickly as those winds calm a little bit. 61 by 9 o'clock, falling into the upper 50s by 11, mid 50s by 1. And most of us are going to wake up into the upper 40s and lower 50s. We're going to shave off a few degrees from what we woke up to this morning, which did have a select few in the upper 40s. Ocala, we registered 48 degrees, 51 in the Villages, 56 degrees at the Orlando International Airport. The last time we had widespread 50s like this was way back in the spring, April 17th, nearly 200 days ago. And this is the front that's likely going to take us into the dry season. Once you get widespread temperatures in the 50s like that, that pretty much shuts down the sea breeze for the season. There is that front again. There is Melissa well off of our shores again because of that front. Something we're advertising really for the last 10 days to 2 weeks now, that these fronts, that parade of fronts that come through will keep this well off our shore. If there's 5, 6 o'clock on your Thursday evening, note the clouds try to erode gradually as it moves through the overnight as some drier air still continues to pour down the Florida Peninsula. Lots of sunshine for Halloween. There you go through trick-or-treating from about 7 to 11. Crystal clear skies. It's going to be a little on the cooler side, though, so you might want to have the jacket for the kids or for the adults if it's a little too cool for you. Tomorrow afternoon, we're back to the low to mid 70s. Rain chances, again, 0%. 7-day forecast, again, looking very nice. 74 degrees on Friday. We're back to the lower 70s as we get into the upcoming weekend, Lisa.
Jonathan, thank you. When you are booking a cruise or a flight, how often do you check the box to buy travel insurance? We're looking closer at what that actually may or may not cover.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
Taking a live look at our launch credit union port cam at Port Canaveral. You can see one cruise ship is still in port before setting sail today. Thousands of people set sail from the port every year on their dream vacations. But a Texas couple's dream cruise turned into a financial and emotional nightmare after a medical emergency forced them off the ship and left them with tens of thousands of dollars in unexpected expenses, even though they had travel insurance. Cheryl Mercedes explains how far that coverage really goes.
For Pam and David Thomas, cruising is their happy place.
How many cruises have you been on?
Probably at least 15.
But in March of 2024, their trip aboard Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas took a frightening turn.
He was not doing well at all.
The diagnosis? COVID-19.
They said we would need to be evacuated.
The couple had purchased travel insurance through the cruise line, assuming it would protect them if something went wrong.
And like most people, you just figure, I'm probably not going to use this, but I'll have it just in case.
David was admitted to the hospital, and Pam says on day one, someone handed her a hefty bill.
He waited a little bit and then came back and said, you have good insurance, but we'll need $8,500.
Why couldn't the insurance you purchased through the cruise line pay for the medical care?
Our insurance had to pay first before the travel insurance would pay. If you do read all of the small print, it does say they coordinate benefits.
By the time it was over, the Thomases say they paid $21,000 out of pocket.
It was an experience, one you never hope to go through again.
Even more than a year later, The memories still sting.
It's just a lot.
As painful as it is to recount everything that happened to you, why is it so important to share your story?
I think it happens more than people realize.
These seasoned cruisers hope their nightmare warns others to read the fine print before they travel thousands of miles from home, because it could cost you everything.
I reached out to Royal Caribbean last Wednesday for comment, but have not heard back. Pam and David say they did get some future cruise credit and were reimbursed by their insurance companies, but they say it took months.
Again, that was Cheryl Mercedes with our affiliate in Houston reporting. Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas sets sail from Port Canaveral next August. Still to come, we have covered the smell in Sanford and what is causing it before. Tonight, we are learning what the city is doing to fix it now and in the future. Plus, more arrests in a heist that took the world by storm. What officials say they are learning did not happen. Welcome back. We are on top of breaking news at 4:30. News 6 has obtained body cam video showing the rearrest of the wife of the suspended Osceola County Sheriff's wife last week. Investigators say Robin Severance Lopez was going to 2 different banks in Kissimmee and opened up 3 separate bank accounts under only her name. This after she claimed in her August hearing that she did not have access to any bank accounts. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest will have more on this case coming up on News 6 at 6. A woman has pleaded no contest to an aggravated battery charge in connection to a deadly road rage shooting in Orlando. 47-year-old Tina Algio is sentenced to 18 months in prison, followed by 10 years of probation. As part of her plea deal, Algio's charge of second-degree murder was dropped. Florida Attorney General James Othmeyer has been publicly criticizing State Attorney Monique Worrell for seeking the prosecution of Algio. Authorities say at least 5 bodies have been recovered in southwest Jamaica as search and rescue teams work to reach some of the areas hardest hit by Hurricane Melissa. The storm is blamed for at least 28 deaths so far. Jamaica's international airports are resuming operations, allowing relief organizations to fly in supplies. Sick of the smell in Sanford? Well, relief may be soon on the way. Our News 6 team has been following what the city has been doing to fix the odor since September, when the mayor told your Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver about equipment failures at the wastewater treatment facility. She joins us now live in Sanford. So, Catherine, a couple of things. You have an update from the city tonight, but first, how does it smell there right now?
Well, at this moment, it is not too bad, and I'll tell you exactly why, Lisa. We are learning exactly when the replacement parts will be installed here, and also what else the city has been doing in the hopes that this won't happen again.
Unpleasant and unacceptable. That's how Sanford city manager has described the smell coming from this wastewater treatment plant near Lake Monroe. It's been an ongoing odor issue ever since we learned that the fan that pulls air from the tanks here through an odor control unit broke. On top of that, there were issues with the drying system, and the city admits that they weren't running some equipment like it should be. But there is an update. The city manager posted this statement on social media this week that says while they wait for a custom odor control exhaust fan to arrive next month, they've installed a temporary fan, which has provided some relief. Do you feel that?
The smell is not that bad like they used to be.
We first met Antonio Echavarria in September, a retiree who moved from New Jersey, and told us the stink made him rethink what he thought would be the home he and his wife spent their golden years in. When did you notice a difference?
Right after you guys show up. I'm sorry.
He broke down because he thought about selling his house.
I was ready, look.
But the same month we spoke, the city got a purchase order issued, got construction approval for not only the first exhaust fan blower, but also a backup. When asked why a replacement part wasn't kept on hand previously, they said it's big and costly and normally doesn't fail within a few years. But since they want to avoid situations like this in the future, they've ordered a spare. Are you spending more time outside now?
Oh, yes.
Echavarria says now he's taking a deep breath
Right now,
of relief.
went to hell with that smell.
You think you'll be happy here for the future?
We like it. We like it.
Now, the city says that custom fan that they have ordered should arrive on November 24th, and it will only take a day for them to install. Our cameras also got an up-close look at this facility today, and the Utilities and Public Works Director actually showed us that temporary exhaust fan that they have put in place. We're going to take you inside with us coming up at 5:30. For now, I'm live in Sanford. Catherine Silver, News 6.
All right, Catherine, thank you. To Brevard County tonight, where a hospital is being torn down months after closing. News 6's Alex Cook was there as demolition began at Rockledge Hospital.
Not long ago, this was the second busiest emergency room in the country. Now, the demolition process has begun here at Rockledge Hospital. The teardown is just beginning on Thursday. Workers ripping out metal signs and railings from the parking lot while surrounding the site with chain link fence. This hospital served the area for 84 years, but this building will soon be gone. The sudden decision by Orlando Health to close down the hospital earlier this year after revealing black mold, structural issues, and corroded sanitation lines has many in the area concerned about where they will get their health care. Hospital chain Health First has plans for a new emergency room in the area, but as of now, the closest emergency rooms to the people of Rockledge and Cocoa are 8.5 miles up the road to Cape Canaveral or 21 miles to Melbourne. The work to demolish Rockledge Hospital should take about 8 weeks. In Rockledge, Alex Cook, News 6.
Alex, thank you. We told you last month, Health First approved building a second 5-story tower at Vieira Hospital. There's no time frame yet on when Health First would build that second tower, but they are about to start building 20 new patient beds on the top floor of the existing tower. That work will take about a year and a half. A Brevard County man remains in jail tonight after deputies say he admitted to shooting at a man who he got into a fight with on the road. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office says they were called to the Sunoco gas station on North Highway 1 and Canaveral Groves Boulevard in Cocoa just after 5 on Tuesday after a woman said she heard gunshots coming from a truck. Deputies say they found a man who said he was shot at by Cody McDivitt. The man said McDivitt was a passenger in a pickup and he was throwing things at the victim's truck and yelling at him. The two eventually traded punches. That's when the victim says McDivitt shot at him. When deputies tracked him down, McDivitt allegedly admitted to firing 3 shots, attempting to hit the man, and was drunk at the time. He faced a Brevard County judge this morning and is now being held on $37,000 bond. Now, the shooting happened at the same Sunoco where a car was stolen with a 1-year-old inside earlier this month. The baby's mom said he started to speed off, but backed up and returned the car. When the suspect realized that little boy was inside, 53-year-old William Mullis was arrested. He is being charged with grand theft of a motor vehicle and kidnapping, confinement under 13. He's being held on no bond. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says they have arrested a teenager in connection to a shooting at a homecoming bonfire, and they say his parents helped deputies identify him. 17-year-old Zachary Sirach is facing a list of charges after deputies say an argument with another kid at the party led to gunfire. Now, thankfully, no one was hit. Now, this photo that was shared during the search for a suspect was key to the investigation. The Sheriff's Office says another detective recognized Sirach from a previous interaction and reached out to his parents, who also positively identified him. His charges include aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. French police have arrested 5 more suspects in the robbery of priceless jewels from the Louvre, bringing the total number of suspects now in custody to 7. But as CBS's Holly Williams explains, so far there is still no sign of the stolen jewels.
Bonsoir, merci. At a press conference yesterday, the French prosecutor said the 2 suspects who've been charged were identified through their DNA and have now partially admitted their involvement in the brazen daylight robbery. A team of perpetrators used a basket lift to scale the facade of the Louvre Museum, broke in through a window and made off with jewellery once worn by French royalty, valued at over $100 million.
Do you believe that either of the 2 men who were charged was the ringleader, or is the mastermind still at large?
We do not exclude the possibility of a larger group, the prosecutor told us, with the person who ordered the heist and who's the receiver of the stolen jewels. It's not clear if that person is now in police custody. Both of the suspects who've been charged have criminal records and are in their 30s. One of them was arrested just before flying to Algeria in northern Africa.
In France, we have an expression.
Joseph Cohen-Saban is a well-known criminal defense lawyer here in France. He told us the thieves made some obvious mistakes, including leaving their belongings at the crime scene.
And they are professional robbers, but according to me, it's the first time they are in this kind of place.
You mean they're career criminals, but they've never tried to pull off anything this big before?
Yes, I think.
This case has sparked outrage in France because of lax security at the Louvre, home to some of the world's most important art. The French prosecutor said yesterday that there is no evidence so far that this was an inside job, with an accomplice working here at the Louvre. Holly Williams, CBS News, Paris.
On the heels of last week's arrest of a pro basketball player in Orlando, we are learning changes may be coming to the online gambling landscape. A federal indictment against Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier says bettors placed wagers winning hundreds of thousands of dollars. The bets were based on information that Rozier provided, including non-public injury and lineup information, and telling people he'd be taking himself out of a game, leading to co-defendants betting that he would underperform in certain stats. Now there may be a crackdown coming for those types of bets. Pro leagues are talking about limiting prop bets, and some states are talking about updating their gambling laws to make them illegal. CBS's Scott MacFarlane spoke with Ohio's governor, who is one of the officials leading the push.
We saw states, one after another, rapidly approve sports gambling a few years ago. Was this not envisioned?
One pitch, one shot of the basket. I don't think that's what most people thought of at that time, but it's clearly taken off, and it's clearly a problem.
The NBA issued a memo on Monday saying they are reassessing measures on sports betting, including what types of bets should be allowed. The MLB is also reportedly working with other professional sports leagues to prohibit certain prop bets. With pro football set to come back to Central Florida, officials are asking for your help to put a face to the team name. The United Football League is asking fans of the recently announced Orlando Storm to contribute ideas for the team's new mascot and what it should be named. Right now, you can share your ideas with the team. Next month, you'll be able to vote on mascot concepts. The winning design will be announced in December. Then you can vote on the name in January. We posted information on how you can submit your ideas to the Orlando Storm and more on what you can expect from the team in this article at clickorlando.com. Still to come, we are talking Halloween safety, including reminders for the four-legged members of your family.
What was your experience with Mr. Heasley?
Terrible. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but terrible.
But first, we are digging into a handyman business after a couple says they are out thousands of dollars with no work done. Jonathan.
Nice and cool out there right now, and it's going to get even cooler tonight. We're going to pinpoint just how low those temperatures go after this short break.
A Lake County couple says they are out thousands of dollars after hiring a handyman who took off with their money and never did the work. And as News 6 investigator Lewis Bolden learned, the Lake County Sheriff's Office has now issued a warrant for the man's arrest.
Yeah, this is what he was supposed to do all the way down here.
82-year-old Irene Simon says she hired a handyman to repair the skirting around the bottom of her home. The work has now been completed by another company, but she says the original one ran off with her money.
What was your experience with Mr. Heasley?
Terrible. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but terrible.
Simon says she found Florida Priority Home Solutions online. She signed a contract to pay the company $3,000 for the job, with $1,500 up front, $500 in cash, and a check for $1,000.
And he was supposed to hold off on cashing that check until the end of the month.
Instead, the owner of the company, Chad Heasley, seen here on surveillance video, went to Amscott in Leesburg early and cashed the check. But the account had insufficient funds, according to the incident report.
And so what happened was Chad came to the house and he said that he needed to have the $1,000, okay, to pay back Amscott.
Simon says she gave Heasley another $1,000 to pay back Amscott, but she says he never did.
So he just took the money and ran.
He took the money and left.
Simon reported the incident to the Lake County Sheriff's Office, who has now issued a warrant for Heasley's arrest.
So if he happens to be involved in a traffic stop or he comes in an encounter with law enforcement, then he would be arrested.
News 6 did some digging and found Florida Priority Home Solutions is not registered with the state.
On the contract they signed, the address for Florida Priority Home Solutions is listed as 4421 College Drive in Orlando. That's right off Ivy Lane, but as you can see, it's an empty lot.
We called the number on the contract and got a voicemail. We also went to an address in Point Siena, but we're told he has not lived there for more than a year.
If you have any information about Heasley, you're asked to call the crime line at 1-800-423-TIPS. I'm Lewis Bolden, News 6.
All right, we want to get over to meteorologist Jonathan Kagas now, who is standing by. Really just glorious temperatures. Had the windows open this afternoon, and we have more of that on the way, Jonathan.
We do. This is an extended little stretch to give the AC a break and keep those windows open for sure. We still have some clouds out there right now. We're going to try to decrease these clouds for the rest of the evening as some drier air continues to pour in. You can see how cool it gets tonight and for your upcoming weekend by downloading the free News 6 weather app. The latest forecast just inputted into that. Light Orlando delivering Hope Skycam tonight. It is looking very nice. It's feeling nice if you like it on the cooler side anyway. 71 degrees, the actual air temperature, the breeze. It's still up there at about 15 to 20 miles out of the west. Further to our north, it's even cooler. 57 in Pensacola right now, 59 in Tallahassee. Evidence again that we are still going to be watching some of that drier, cooler air spill down the Florida Peninsula once we see the sunshine end tonight and once we get into the rest of your evening. Wake up temperatures tomorrow going to be a couple of notches cooler than where they were today. We're talking mid-40s in Ocala, Bellevue. Good evening. We are at 44. Lake Weir also at 44 tomorrow morning. Hot Creek, we're back to the upper 40s as well. So there's going to be a bunch of extra upper 40s on the map when you wake up tomorrow morning. Wider View shows us again we have forecasts for you guys in Palm Bay. We're at 52. Melbourne, we are at 55. Now here's a look at the afternoon.
Your forecast is sponsored by Ramjack.
And if you're heading trick-or-treating tomorrow, we are going to head back into the low to mid-70s for afternoon highs. Again, one of the cooler Halloweens we have felt in more than a decade. You have to go back to 2012 to find a cooler one. Clear and cool by 6 o'clock. We're back to the upper 60s, 64 degrees by 8. And then again, as we really get deep into the evening, 9, 10 o'clock, we're likely going to be falling into the upper 50s and lower 60s. Latest on Melissa, again, that continues to lift to the north, closer to the Bahamas. And that front that delivered us that nice big blast of cooler air that we woke up to this morning kept us nice and protected from any kind of direct impacts. The rip current risk is still going to be high, of course, through the weekend, but continues to steer Melissa far away and also continues to deliver us that drier, cooler air again that we are going to keep with us. Again, that high rip current risk is going to be with us for the next couple of days. Wave height's about 3 to 5 feet, and again, that's going to be everywhere up and down the Atlantic Florida beaches. It might be on the cooler side as well to get into the water, as we're going to see temperatures again basically back to the upper 60s and lower 70s. On the tropical tropical front itself, no new development expected over the next 7 days. Over the next 3 days, we're talking nice and comfy temperatures, even a little cooler by a degree or two when you wake up on Saturday morning. We're back into the lower 70s on Saturday. Don't forget the sunset is going to set an hour earlier on Sunday, back before 6 o'clock. As we fall back, we're back to the mid-70s Sunday afternoon. Rain chances going up a little bit to the early part of next work week.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Still to come, we have some safety reminders for your family as your kids get ready for trick-or-treating, including reminders for the members of your family that have 4 legs.
Coming up in the morning, staying safe on Halloween.
AAA says there's an added danger this year, what you need to know before you go out to celebrate.
Plus, it's going to be the coldest Halloween we have seen in years. Candace will have those hour-by-hour updates on just how low we'll go.
We'll see you for News 6 mornings starting at 6.
You know, every year around this time, we all talk about Halloween safety. You guys know it. Check your candy, wear bright colors, watch for cars, all great advice. But let's be honest, most people stop there. Here are a few things most folks don't think about. So if your kid's costume is all black, make sure you've got some type of reflective tape on the side and on the back. Headlights always don't hit straight on. Or what are those glow sticks? They come and you can get them pretty much everywhere at this point. And parents, this one's for you. I don't know why we're doing this, but stop walking in the middle of the road like you're part of some parade or something. Stay on the sidewalk with your kids. It's still kind of cool to hang out with them, and they'll appreciate it too. And here's a big one. Driveways, cars backing out. Don't always see little trick-or-treaters out there. Walk ahead of your kids when passing in front of a driveway, not behind them. Drivers, go ahead and turn on your headlights a little earlier tomorrow, even before the dark. It helps everyone to see you a little sooner. And finally, secure the family dog, believe it or not. I have actually seen more pets bolt on Halloween night than on 4th of July. So a little extra awareness goes a long way towards making sure everyone gets home with candy and not a close call. If you've got a traffic safety question you'd like me to answer it, head on over to clickorlando.com/AskTrooperSteve and let's have a great Halloween tomorrow.
Well, Steve mentioned it. Veterinarians are also reminding everyone about pet safety this Halloween. Veterinarians say they see an uptick in pets at the emergency clinic this time of year. There's the sweets that you probably know about. Ingesting chocolate can cause significant damage to their liver, can even be deadly. If your pet is dressing up, their costume should fit well so it does not cause them to choke or trip. And going back to what Trooper Steve mentioned about pets running off, Halloween can be a noisy holiday, and a lot of pets are very susceptible to noise.
You have new people coming to your door, and the pets may not be familiar and they may get stressed by it.
He recommends either keeping them on a leash or distracting them with a new toy in a quieter place. Veterinarians also recommend having pets microchipped. And we'd love to see the Halloween costumes from your home if it's you, your kids, or your pets. Take out your phone and scan the QR code on your screen. It'll take you to the Pin It page on clickorlando.com where you can upload your photos and you just may see them on TV. And thanks to Lori Ann for uploading this picture of Belly, the Frenchy devil. We'd love to show more photos tomorrow, so be sure to send them in to us. News 6 at 5 is up next. Anchor Ginger Gadsden is in the newsroom with what's ahead.
Lisa, relief in Brevard County for some after flooding impacted the people there, especially in Titusville. Up next at 5, the floodwaters are receding. We'll take a look at who is helping out to clean up the mess. Plus, before you get that extra hour of sleep this weekend, we take a close look at the impact of daylight saving time. We're diving into the importance of turning back the clock can have. And your forecast is just minutes away. Don't forget, you can stream all of our newscasts in live cameras like the one you're seeing right here at Daytona Beach for free anytime on News 6 Plus. Right now at 5, providing relief for neighbors in Brevard, what the county is doing to help those impacted by devastating flooding. Plus, an unexpected plea in a road rage case putting top state officials at odds.
I can tell you that I believe that the interference in this case was wholly and completely improper.
Under Florida law, she justifiably stood her ground and acted in self-defense.
With SNAP benefits at risk.
I spoke with Matthew's Hope Food Pantry in Winter Garden. As you can see here, they are dealing with bare shelves because they've been seeing so many people, and they say they're definitely starting to feel the pressure.
You're watching News 6 at 5.
What is this for?
I'm going to tell you exactly what it's for in a second here. Here, hold your phone for me.
They're arresting me.
You are being placed under arrest for
New details tonight in the second arrest of Robin Severance Lopez, the estranged wife of suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez. This body cam video taken from the day of her arrest at her home. At the time, no one, including her attorney, knew why she was being arrested tonight. We are getting those answers. Her arrest warrant reveals over the summer she deposited and withdrew tens of thousands of dollars from new bank accounts. Severance Lopez was arrested that second time because the court was suspicious about how she got the money she used to post bond. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest is digging into the court paperwork. Look for his full report coming up at 6 o'clock. A breakthrough tonight for neighbors cut off from dry land since over the weekend. Your Titusville community correspondent James Barbero has been on the ground with flood victims all week, and now he has a new update from one of those neighborhoods where they saw the worst of the rainfall.
After 15 inches of rain fell in just 12 hours Sunday night, historic flooding is starting to recede a little bit here in these Titusville neighborhoods. I just watched this car drive through Parkland Street. That couldn't have happened just the other day.
This is our first time getting out.
That being said, just being able to drive again is only one step towards a long recovery for these people.
I quoted Martin Luther King. I'm free at last. I'm free at last. Thank God I'm free at last.
As the County Commissioner for North Brevard County, Katie Delaney represents the people who've been struggling all week. Katie, what's your message to our neighbors right now? For some of them, it might feel like the longest week of their lives.
Right. I'm so sorry for all the struggles that people are going through right now. This is unprecedented flooding that we haven't really seen here before. We're doing everything we can to try to get resources out to people.
About resources, what's going to be the reality for some of these folks who might be expecting federal aid? It might not be there this time?
Yeah, unfortunately, somewhere around 150 to 200 homes have to have at least a foot of water in their homes to trigger that federal help.
Some of these neighbors are blaming the flooding on drains not being cleared out.
We've had a problem for a while.
Do you think those concerns should have been addressed a long time ago?
Yes, absolutely. It's really frustrating because I feel like a lot of us have been talking about this for a really long time, kind of ringing the bell that this day is coming.
As pumps continue helping to remove water, I was encouraged by what a good attitude the neighbors here I met have. Brett and Denise Annan told me the experience brought neighbors closer together.
You just make the best of it and thank the Lord that everything is still good.
And our reporting on recovery efforts continues on clickorlando.com. We'll keep you updated on all ways victims can get help. In Brevard County, I'm your Titusville community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
And if you have been impacted by the flooding in Brevard County, there are flooding cleanup kits at certain county libraries. The list of locations are on your screen right now. The kits are first come, first served and include cleaning supplies and heavy-duty garbage bags. A chilly fall day here in Central Florida, a sure sign that the season is in full swing and just in time for Halloween too. Taking a live look now at our launch, Credit Union Port Cam at Port Canaveral. It's a beautiful day out there. It looks a little breezy too. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. Jonathan, not a whole lot to complain about out there.
Unless you like it really humid and temperatures in the mid-90s, then you might be complaining a little bit. No, I'm with you, Ginger. It is nice and comfortable. The breeze is elevated. We'll see that wind back off a little bit. 24 hours ago, ago, we were about 10 to 15 degrees warmer, give or take, than where we are right now. That 24-hour temperature change has us about 5 degrees cooler at this hour when compared to yesterday at the same time. And then more like that 10 to 15 temperature change over the last 24 hours along I-4 into the west. That'll put us into the mid-70s in Titusville, Palm Bay. Good evening. We are at 70. Nice and comfortable 69 for us in Kissimmee. We are at 64 in Wildwood. Bushnell, good evening. We are at 68 degrees, and we will continue to tumble. Tomorrow is going to be a little cooler. Tomorrow morning, when we wake up, when compared to where we are to where we were this morning, we're back to the upper 50s by 11, lower 50s with a few extra upper 40s in the mix tomorrow. We'll pinpoint that part of your forecast at about 5:17.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. The government shutdown is now in its 30th day, and next week, millions of Americans who rely on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program known as SNAP could be without access to food. The Trump administration says funding will run out on Saturday, but states have sued to keep the program running during the shutdown. Meantime, local food pantries are feeling the pressure. Your West Orange community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton, spoke with a Winter Garden Food Pantry about how they say they're already seeing the effect.
Take a look at these empty row of shelves here at Matthews Hope Food Pantry in Winter Garden. This is some of the things that they're saying they're dealing with because they've been seeing more people come through their doors. And they say if SNAP does come to an end, it will only cause more of an issue.
Helping out where he can.
I marked the barcode.
For Matthews Hope volunteer David Stamper, like others who come in on SNAP, he does not just find it essential, but a lifeline.
Mentally, having that security, to have like food on the table or, having a meal for the next day, that's the worry.
With the possibility of SNAP benefits at risk of stalling as the government shutdown continues, Matthews Hope Food Pantry in Orange County is seeing their shelves scarce.
How much pressure would you say you all are feeling?
At this point, the need has grown so much. We go through between $15,000 and $20,000 of food resources net daily.
Over 41 million people are enrolled in SNAP, according to the United States Department of Agriculture, and 2.9 million are enrolled in Florida.
Having EBT gave me that help. I didn't have to fully rely on the pantry, and now I'm going to need to be, 100%, relying on that.
One woman says how she wanted to be on SNAP, but now she's afraid that option will not come soon.
It helped me a lot with eating, because I don't have enough money to eat after I pay my bills.
Those with the food pantry say almost all of their donations are from the community.
Unless I learn how to print money soon, I can only do what I can do.
The good news is, as they say they put out a call for help online, they're now seeing more food come in. But the worry of SNAP benefits are in the minds of many.
Like I pray every day, each and every day about it, that there's going to be a better way for it to come.
And those with Matthews Hope, they say despite them going through all of this, they say they will continue to help those in need as long as they can. Reporting, I'm your West Orange County community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton.
We are also looking into other programs that could be impacted by the shutdown, including Head Start, a federal program that supports early education for kids from low-income families. Now, the president and CEO of the Community Coordinated Care for Children, a Head Start grantee in Osceola County, told News 6 in part, we are fully funded through the end of each of our program years, and currently we have access to the federal payment management system for drawdowns to cover operational expenses. We are aware that potential funding shortages from other programs such as SNAP may affect our clients, and we will work with them to the greatest extent possible to provide or direct them to all available resources. Again, the deadline for those SNAP benefits to end is Saturday, November 1st. We have resources available on the homepage of clickorlando.com. This article has links to the Central Florida Food Pantry database as well. Tonight, a criminal case that became a point of contention between State Attorney Monique Worrell and Attorney General James Upmeyer ended today. The defendant, who was charged in a deadly road rage incident from last year, cutting a plea deal. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti was in court today for a hearing that went far different than expected.
The purpose of Thursday's hearing was for a judge to hear the defense's motion to dismiss. It was slated to last several hours, as Tina Algio's defense attorney was expected to make an argument for why he believes his client acted in self-defense, and thus the case should be dismissed. But we now know that never materialized.
How would you like to plead, ma'am?
No contest, Your Honor.
Tina Algio adjudicated guilty Thursday on an aggravated battery charge in connection to the death of Mikhail Svetkov. As part of the plea deal, Algio will spend 18 months behind bars, and prosecutors dropped the murder charge.
Based on the interference of the Attorney General, this is the justice that this case has come to.
State Attorney Monique Worrell is referring to the letter Attorney General James Uthmeier sent her last month, urging her to drop the prosecution against Algeo. The letter was accompanied by this video shared on social media.
Under Florida law, she justifiably stood her ground and acted in self-defense.
Prosecutors had argued that Algeo provoked Svetkov, who was seen on video opening Algeo's car door and appearing to punch her while she was inside. Seconds later, she shot him. Worrell contended Algeo escalated the road rage incident when her car hit Svetkov's. That act represented the aggravated battery charge.
Look, it was a difficult case and it's tough.
Defense attorney Mark O'Mara's interpretation of what happened that day, December 2nd, 2024, differs from Worrell's. But the two share a similar perspective on how the Attorney General has comported himself as far as this case is concerned.
I think it was horrific. I agree with Ms. Worrell in that sense. I think it was horrific. Beneficial to my client, maybe in some weird sense, but I don't think it's appropriate for any politician to get involved in the system.
In response to Thursday's plea deal, Attorney General James Uthmeier posted this to X, quote, "We're glad to see that Orlando State Attorney Worrell took our advice and dropped the unjust murder charge against Tina Algeo this morning. Ms. Algeo clearly acted in self-defense. In Florida, we will protect the right to stand your ground against violent aggressors," end quote. Meanwhile, Algeo is expected to report to the Department of Corrections on December 27th to begin her 18-month sentence. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
In Marion County, the sheriff's office says they have arrested a teen in connection to a shooting at a homecoming bonfire, and they say his parents actually helped identify him. 17-year-old Zachary Serac is facing a list of charges after an argument with another kid at the party led to gunfire. Thankfully, no one was hit. This photo shared during the search for a suspect was key in the investigation. The sheriff's office says another detective recognized the teen from a previous interaction and reached out to his parents, who also positively identified him. His charges include aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Cleanup in the Caribbean after the devastation left behind by Hurricane Melissa, but there is help on the way. Next at 5, the efforts being made in Central Florida to provide aid to those who need it and how you can get involved. Plus,
credit card debt in the U.S. has reached record amounts in 2025, and unless wages go up and inflation goes down, that debt could grow even more in 2026. I'm News 6 business reporter Donovan Myrie. I'll have that story coming up next in Dollars and Cents.
Today's Port Canaveral Cam is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
Right now, Jamaicans are cleaning up after the damage left behind by Hurricane Melissa. It made landfall Tuesday as a Category 5, the strongest storm on record ever to hit the island. The entire country has been declared a disaster area by the Prime Minister. The U.S. State Department said it was deploying a regional disaster response team and other resources across Caribbean countries. Meanwhile, in Central Florida, Attorney Dan Newland launched relief flights this morning, sending critical supplies to Jamaica. News 6's Angie Casada shows us how his team is turning compassion into action.
Newland's team plans on running multiple flights just like this one here on the tarmac, bringing aid and partnering with faith-based groups and local organizations to reach the most impacted areas. At Orlando International Airport, crews loaded up relief supplies into Dan Newland's private jet, filled with food, water, and medical aid headed to Jamaica. The attorney said his team could not sit by after seeing the destruction Hurricane Melissa left behind. He's partnering with reggae artist Shaggy.
So seeing these images and such, reached out to the hospitals in Kingston, Montego Bay, and found out what their needs were. And that's how we got started. Really working directly with the hospitals was Shaggy's most important objective. And so that's what we're doing now. We also got a lot of medicine that was donated by local physicians.
The Category 5 storm pummeled Jamaica with 185-mile-per-hour winds, leaving neighborhoods in ruins, entire communities cut off, and nearly 80% of the island without power. There's widespread flooding and mud-filled roads in St. Elizabeth Parish, where classrooms, homes, and historic buildings were flattened. Local leaders say hundreds of families remain in shelters, and relief crews are still struggling to clear major roads.
Historic buildings, churches, courthouse, the parish council, and all the heritage buildings have been destroyed.
I'm really happy to be out here helping out and knowing that collectively, we're all making a difference. It's a way to remind people, like, there's a lot of people suffering like 3 hours from here, and we can all maybe find a way to chip in or do something cool to help them out.
Newland said his team is expected to be the first plane to land in Jamaica by late afternoon, and he's already working with other local businesses to gather more donations for additional relief flights. In Orlando, I'm Angie Casada, News 6.
And if you would like to help the relief efforts in the Caribbean, head to clickorlando.com. We have an article on how you can donate. All right, time now for a check of the forecast. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. I feel like we've been talking about Melissa for a long time now. Where is it headed next?
It's going to be brushing Bermuda over the next couple of days. That's staying far away from us. The cold front that brought us all that cooler air that we are feeling out there right now when we woke up to this morning, it is going to continue to keep it off the east coast of the United States, as really we've been talking about for the last almost 14 days. We've been tracking this thing off of Africa. Mid-70s in Titusville right now, 69 in Kissimmee. Bushnell, we are back to the upper 60s. Still a little breezy out there, courtesy of our cold front from early this morning. It's a live look with our Launch Credit Union camera at Port Canaveral in Brevard County. You can keep up with the forecast as always by downloading that free News 6 weather app. Temperatures right now into the lower 70s. Lots of sunshine out there. These puffy clouds that you see out there in the Skycam view, those are going to go down as soon as the sun sets this evening. There is Melissa. You see the swirls there. The clouds continuing to stay way off of our shores again. It's going to make a close brush with Bermuda, but that cold front, as expected, again, going to continue to keep it far away from Florida. Now, it will chew up the beaches a little bit. It will send rip currents back in our direction for the next couple of days, but certainly direct impacts are thousands of miles away as that system continues to slide back towards the north, closer to Bermuda. Clouds and rain forecast, a few passing clouds for the rest of your evening, but as the sun goes down tonight, we lose most of those clouds. Drier air also comes in tomorrow, even more so than what we had today. There's 3 o'clock on your Halloween. If you're heading trick-or-treating, skies should be crystal clear by that point into the evening. It will be on the cooler side. Again, one of the cooler Halloweens that we have felt in quite some time. We'll keep the clear skies rolling for the rest of your Friday night and to start your weekend. Tomorrow morning, Friday morning, look at this, 47 in Ocala, 46 in Denellen. We're back to the lower 50s in Orlando, 55 degrees for us in Melbourne. Now here's a look at your afternoon.
Your forecast is sponsored by Payne Law.
Temperatures a little closer across Central Florida. Again, Kenansville, we're hanging around 50 degrees, 50 in Holopod. That's when you wake up again tomorrow morning. By the afternoon, we're going to get back into the lower 70s along the Space Coast, right around 70 in Leesburg, Mount Dora, 74 in Orlando. We're going to keep things right around 70 as well for us in Marion County. Sunshine should be dominant. Even cooler still on Saturday morning. Look at this, 44 in Ocala on Saturday. We're back to around 50 in Sanford. We'll shave a degree or two off in Orlando as well, back to 51 degrees. Later on that afternoon before you go to bed, or later on that evening before you go to bed, clocks go back an hour. Most of them do it automatically, but the thing you're going to notice is the sunset change. By Sunday, the sun is setting at 5:39. That is a change from the 6:40 sunset that we will have on Saturday. The sunrise, if you like the sunlight, daylight in the morning, that's going to come back our way at 6:38, so much earlier if you are a morning person. 7-day forecast over the next couple of days. We're at 72 on Saturday afternoon. We're going to keep this comfortable stretch rolling. I do think we bring back extra clouds and a few rain showers possible as we get towards the early stages of next work week, Ginger.
Thank you. Credit card debt is impacting millions of Americans. Still to come, what experts say is causing the debt and what could happen if it doesn't get better. Today's Dollars and Cents is next.
Your Thursday evening traffic alert. You're going to see all our construction projects pretty ramped up over the weekend. Just make sure you're paying attention. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a lot of good weather, meaning construction's going to happen. 417 north and southbound up towards the 50. You will see those lane closures there. Also the construction along Sand Lake, 528 and I-4, that whole little corridor, and southern portions of the Florida Turnpike. No major shutdowns are scheduled, but we will see lane closures Thursday night into Friday. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 Traffic Alert. Drive safely. I'll catch you in the morning. Americans are drowning in credit card debt, and new data shows it's only getting worse. The U.S. has always been a country that seemingly runs on credit, but as of late, more and more Americans are using their credit cards to bridge the gap between income and expenses. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, U.S. credit card debt hit a record $1.2 trillion in the second quarter of 2025,
up more than $27 billion from just a few months earlier. Back in 2021, right in the middle of the pandemic, Americans owed less than $500 billion on their credit cards. Fast forward 4 years later, and we're carrying about $700 billion more in credit card debt, up nearly 140%. Increased credit card debt is a sharp reminder that inflation and slow wage growth are forcing millions of families to lean on plastic just to make ends meet. And it's not cheap debt. According to LendingTree.com, the average credit card interest rate now tops 21%. Nationwide, the average unpaid credit card balance is about $7,300. But in places like New Jersey and Florida, that average tops $9,000. So far, delinquency rates, balances overdue by more than 30 days, have stayed steady at around 2.9%. But that's nearly double what we saw before the pandemic, when delinquency rates were only about 1.5%. Economists warn that if inflation doesn't cool and wages don't rise, more Americans could find themselves stuck in what some call the credit card treadmill. For Dollars and Cents, I'm Donovan Myrie.
Professional football is returning to Orlando, and the team needs your help designing and naming a mascot. The United Football League introduced the Orlando Storm earlier this year. They will play their home games at Inter&Co Stadium starting in November. Fan voting for a mascot concept will begin. The winning design will be announced on social media. Then in January, fans will vote on the name. Well, much more coming up in the next half hour, including turning back the clock and all the controversy that always seems to come with it. Up next, why we have daylight saving time and what you need to know before you get that extra hour of sleep this weekend. And
it's a problem you can't see, but it's sure to catch your attention.
The smell was terrible.
We told you what's causing the smell in Sanford. Now we're learning what the city is doing to fix it right now and in the future.
A live look now at Daytona Beach. You're watching News 6. Keep it here. We'll be right back. Glad you're with us. I'm Ginger Gadsden. You're watching News 6 at 5. We're following several top stories right now. A breakthrough tonight for neighbors in Titusville cut off from dry land since over the weekend. 15 inches of rain fell in just 12 hours Sunday night, and it is starting to recede just a little bit in some areas. Leaders say they are doing everything they can to try and get resources out to those people. A woman has pleaded no contest to an aggravated battery charge in connection to a deadly road rage shooting in Orlando. Tina Algio is sentenced to 18 months in prison, followed by 10 years of probation. As part of her plea, the 47-year-old's charge of second-degree murder was dropped. It has been 30 days since the government shut down, and the expiration of SNAP benefits is Saturday. Matthews Hope in Winter Garden says it's dealing with empty shelves because more people need help. It will only get worse if SNAP does end. Officials with Matthews Hope say they will continue to service people who are in need. All right, relief may be on the way soon for people sick of the smell in Sanford. Our News 6 team has been following what the city has been doing to fix your odor issues since September, when the mayor told your Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver about equipment failures at the wastewater treatment facility. Catherine joins us live in Sanford now, and you got an inside look at the facility today.
That's right, Ginger, and we are actually at that wastewater treatment plant right now so that we can show you a little bit more tonight. We were invited in because the city says they're not only committed to addressing this issue, but also sharing updates with the people who live here and who have been dealing with this smell. Unpleasant and unacceptable. That's how Sanford city manager has described the smell coming from this wastewater treatment plant near Lake Monroe. It's been an ongoing odor issue ever since we learned that the fan that pulls air from the tanks here through an odor control unit broke. On top of that, there were issues with the drying system, and the city admits that they weren't running some equipment like it should be. But there is an update. The city manager posted this statement on social media this week that says while they wait for a custom odor control exhaust fan to arrive next month, they've installed a temporary fan, which has provided some relief. Do you feel that?
The smell is not that bad like they used to be.
We first met Antonio Echevarria in September, a retiree who moved from New Jersey and told us the stink made him rethink what he thought would be the home he and his wife spent their golden years in. When did you notice a difference?
Right after you guys show up. Right after, I'm sorry.
He broke down because he thought about selling his house.
I was ready, look.
But the same month we spoke, the city got a purchase order issued. We've been following up, and Thursday got to see not just the facility, but also the fix firsthand. This is the temporary fan right in front of us.
Yes.
The Utilities and Public Works Director explained the custom replacement that's coming is more high power.
The permanent fan is larger, pulls more volume of air than that one does, and has a much more powerful motor. But as I stated, that one is assisting and aiding in the process, which is why you don't really smell much of an odor right now.
It's enough relief for Echevarria to spend more time outside and less time thinking about packing up and getting out. For now, he's taking a deep breath.
Right now?
Of relief.
Went to hell with that smell.
You think you'll be happy here for the future?
We like it. We like it.
We've also seen your questions about why the city didn't have a backup fan ready to go, so this problem could have been fixed much sooner. The city tells us that the replacement part is big, it is costly, and typically it wouldn't fail after only a few years. But they have gone ahead and now ordered a spare fan as well in the hopes that they can fix this in the future much quicker. I'm live in Sanford. Catherine Silver, News 6.
Well, that's the way to get it done. Thanks, Catherine. Well, history was made today in the city of Apopka. For the first time ever, the police department is being led by a woman, and she's no stranger to the community she now serves. Your Apopka community correspondent, Justin Wormuth, was there for today's big ceremony.
It's a new era here in the city of Apopka as Lavetta Quinn Henry officially becomes the next chief of police, the first female to ever lead this agency. And it was a packed house here at the Apopka Community Center for the change of command ceremony. Quinn Henry takes over for Michael McKinley, who retired last month after 10 years as a Apopka police chief. Now, she brings decades of law enforcement experience to the role, including 25 years at the Orlando Police Department. As a native of Apopka and graduate of Apopka High School, the new chief told me she's excited to serve and protect the 66,000 residents of her hometown.
It feels amazing. It's full circle for me, you know, having been a student here and resident and now being the Apopka police chief. It seems just surreal. I had the blessed opportunity to do what so many chiefs don't, and that's to do a 6 months transition to see and identify those who want to carry this mission forward. And so again, I can say with firmness that this is a well-oiled machine, one that I'm ready to take into the very next chapter.
Now, Quinn Henry is the 16th police chief in Apopka history. Her tenure officially starts Saturday, November 1st. I'm your Apopka community correspondent, Justin Wormuth, News 6.
All right, I want to bring you some breaking news. This is I-4 westbound. This is in the Champions Gate area. Let me just get a closer look at the screen here. Look at all these cars. This is a huge area for backups anyway, and you're seeing that there's some sort of crash, and that traffic is not going anywhere. Of course, this is from our Department of Transportation camera. We'll keep a close eye on this and let you know exactly what's going on, but it does not look really good right now. If you know someone who's about to go into this area, you need to text them and tell them to avoid it if at all possible, but not a good situation out there. All right, we're continuing to count down to the end of daylight saving time this Sunday at 2 in the morning. Clocks will fall back 1 hour. I used to love this time of year. And you know what that means, an extra hour of sleep. That's why I loved it. Our meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. And Jonathan, this is a controversial practice.
It is.
Tell me a little bit of why, some of the reasons why we do it in the first place.
So yeah, we were talking at the break, there's a lot of misconceptions with it.
There's exactly,
a lot of crazy things. The main thing was to conserve energy back in the 40s, or I guess in the 19 teens, first and foremost, World War I. And then again in the 40s with World War II, and then it just kind of kept and stayed with us that entire time.
The big misconception is that it was done for farmers, right? So then I started looking at it.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly. And it said the American Farm Bureau Federation says that farmers rallied in opposition to daylight saving time in 1919 rather than supporting it. The farmers argued that our cows don't know that it's a different time. They're going to give milk when they give milk normally, and the chickens are going to crow when they're going to crow and lay the eggs at the same time. So there are a lot of myths around that. That one seems to persist really throughout the years.
Absolutely. If we have the graphics on the weather computer here, this is the deal that we are getting ourselves into. So the debate that you mentioned. So if we kept daylight saving time, again, the one that we are coming to an end that ends on Sunday morning, the latest winter sunrise is going to be at 8:19. So that's going to be that's a little dark for the morning
especially
people.
For winter too.
Absolutely, for sure. Talk about the blues there. Later sunsets, you will get the sunsets to hang around a little bit later, back to 6:28. Now, if we kept standard time, that changes things a little bit further. The sun comes up, the earliest sunrise at 5:27 in the morning. So you get the reason why that's here.
It's a little early.
But look at this. Everybody loves summer. The sun is going to set at the latest point at 7:27. So there's the reason why that's there.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons on both sides, but you know, we'll see what happens. But earlier this year, Senator Rick Scott once again introduced the Sunshine Protection Act. The bill aims to make daylight saving time the national year-round standard. Senator Scott claims it would help farmers grow the economy and create safer neighborhoods. The Sunshine Protection Act has been proposed multiple times in Congress before. It passed the Senate by unanimous consent in March of 2022, but has faced challenges and has yet to become law. Right now, over on clickorlando.com, you can read all about daylight saving time. We made this article easy to find by putting it right there on the home page for you.
They're not just allowing the fraud to happen, they're profiting from it.
Tonight, an urgent warning for consumers about cryptocurrency, ATMs. The top city prosecutor in Washington, D.C. claims an ATM provider is enabling a crypto scam where victims think they're protecting their money by buying Bitcoin. CBS national consumer correspondent Usher Kurishay spoke to a woman who says she was taken by it.
There was a voice message that was coming on with this and said, don't turn your computer on, don't turn your computer off.
Last summer, a simple click turned into a nightmare. Maryland retiree Diane Reynolds was online when her screen froze and a warning popped up.
Access has been blocked for security reasons and for your safety. and call this number.
But that number wasn't tech support, it was a scammer. He claimed hackers had her bank account information and told her the only way to save her money was to convert it to encrypted Bitcoin.
How much money did he tell you to take out?
$13,100.
Reynolds went to her bank, withdrew the cash, and followed instructions to a gas station to this kiosk run by a company called Athena Bitcoin.
And this is the only proof that you have that you put $13,000 plus into that machine?
That is it.
Athena Bitcoin operates more than 4,000 crypto ATMs nationwide. They look like regular ATMs, but instead of cash, they convert your money into untraceable crypto. Critics say scammers are using them to steal millions, mostly from seniors.
Bitcoin ATMs are a tool that scammers, that criminals are using to separate people, including D.C. residents, from their hard-earned money.
Washington, D.C. Attorney General Brian Schwab is suing Athena.
Athena, as a Bitcoin operator, knows that its kiosks are being used by this element and yet have failed to put proper anti-fraud prevention systems in place to keep it from happening. And what makes it worse is they're profiting from this because they're charging very substantial fees.
Those findings, according to the AG, mean that every time someone is scammed, Athena, with a strict no-refund policy, gets a cut. And now Reynolds herself is suing. Vaughn Stewart is her attorney.
Are you alleging that the incentive to prevent this is not there because they do make so much on these transaction fees?
They're not just allowing the fraud to happen, they're profiting from it. And it's in their financial best interest to allow as many scams to happen as possible.
Athena denied our requests for an interview. In a written statement, the company says it strongly disagrees with the D.C. lawsuit, insisting it employs aggressive safety protocols, including prominent on-screen warnings. Reynolds says her experience left her shaken and determined to speak out.
Now I'm an advocate for just telling people, this is real. Be aware.
Usher Qureshi, CBS News, Silver Spring, Maryland.
So what should you do if you find yourself in this position? Officials say if you get a pop-up saying your computer is compromised, don't call the number you see on your computer screen. No bank, government agency, or law enforcement officer will ever ask you to deposit cash into a Bitcoin ATM. Instead, shut down your device, then call your bank or authorities directly and ask for help. Helping out veterans in St. Cloud. Up next on News 6 at 5, Trooper Steve sits down with the St. Cloud mayor about the efforts being made to honor veterans and give back to the community.
Big cool down has arrived, and it's going to get even cooler tonight. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, we're going to talk about how cool it gets and how long this big cool down lasts, coming up after the break.
All right, we want to take you back out to that I-4 westbound incident. This is in the Champions Gate area. You can see that it's exit 58 right now, and it looks like they are not letting people off on that exit. It appears to be some sort of accident. You can see the emergency vehicles are doing a fend-off position where they're not letting cars exit on 58, and this is the height of rush hour for this area, an area that already suffers from a lot of congestion. So if you know someone who's headed your way and this is the way they take, text them immediately and tell them to find another way, because it's going to be quite some time. We'll keep a close eye on our Department of Transportation camera and let you know when this opens up again. The city of St. Cloud has long been recognized for its proud connection to America's veterans, even earning the nickname the Soldier City. That history continues to grow stronger with the city's latest initiative to honor those who have served. Today, Trooper Steve spoke with the mayor about the recently established Veterans Council and how they are helping veterans going forward.
The city council wanted to create a St. Cloud Veterans Council that would support the veterans, put the resources out there for them. In order to do so effectively, we wanted to go ahead and put it out there, right there in the community, front and center in Veterans Park, and kind of join it with the community market. So, as you know, you're at the Museum of Military History. I've been the chairman and executive director of that museum for the past 5 years now, and it's been a great honor to serve our veterans and our active military there, and throughout the community. So, being as the mayor on the city of St. Cloud, I get the honor of honoring our veterans in our community here as well.
You know, some of the great events that we've gotten to do there, you know, whether it's Remember 45 or whether it's the Purple Heart events and things like that, you've always been able to bring out a great crowd.
Always thankful to our veterans. The city is also planning Soldier City Sundays, a weekly community market for veterans. To watch Trooper Steve's entire interview with the mayor of St. Cloud, you can head on over to clickorlando.com. And you can hit the road with Trooper Steve on patrol weekday mornings at 10, live on the new 6 Plus streaming app for your smart TV or clickorlando.com. Time now for a look at that beautiful forecast out there. Jonathan, people have a little extra pep in their step today because it's just so, that air is cool and dry. It's perfect.
It's amazing when you open the door, like we were expecting it. I hope everybody was expecting it. I hope everybody watched and or downloaded the new 6 weather app for free, by the way, and knew that it was coming. But it's still that first kind of crisp morning we've had in months. It's been cool, of course, before. There's the how to download the free new 6 weather app. But certainly today, the coolest of the bunch. And I think we're going to shave off a few more degrees tomorrow and maybe a degree or two more as you wake up on Saturday morning to start your weekend. Live look outside downtown Orlando with our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Skycam. We have a few clouds in place. A little breezy out there out of the west at about 15 to 20 miles an hour. That wind is going to shift a little bit more to a northerly component late this evening into the overnight and help to pump in some cooler, drier air to help us get rid of the clouds to give us more sunshine tomorrow. 60 in Tallahassee right now, 57 at this hour in Pensacola. We're at 70 in Orlando, a little bit warmer in Fort Myers, but that cooler, drier air going to spill down the Florida Peninsula over the next several hours. We're at 51 tomorrow morning. When you wake up in Salt Springs, Pearson, we're at 47. Bunnell, we're at 52 tomorrow morning. Point Siena, we're talking about air temperatures back to the lower 50s as well. Deltona, good evening. We are going to start things off into the upper 40s again tomorrow. Widespread 40s coming our way, lower 50s in Winter Haven, 50 in Holopaw, Titusville. Good evening. We're back to starting at 53 degrees. Now here's a look at your forecast for Halloween.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
Heading out tomorrow, it's going to be very, very nice. You might want the jacket if you're out late, especially into the evening after the sun goes down. We're going to have a lot of sunshine, especially once we get into the afternoon. Air temperatures back to the low to mid 70s for afternoon high temperatures. By 8 o'clock, we're back to the low 60s. Hanging around the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees by 10 o'clock. Latest on Melissa, it has left the Caribbean. It's now lifting back up toward Bermuda, and all because of this cold front again. We talked about this more than 10 days ago, that this storm was never going to come to Florida because of these parade of cold fronts. The first one on Monday, and then the bigger one that we are feeling right now would guide this storm safely out to sea. Unfortunately, again, for our friends in Jamaica and Cuba, that's where it decided to lift up. Bermuda is going to get hurricane conditions later on tonight, but again, it's this front that protected the United States, especially the southeast corner of the United States, and delivered us the coolest air of the season. Now, even though Melissa is not going to cause any direct impacts, the rip current risks with these distant hurricanes always goes up a little bit. The surf going to be about 3 to 5 feet getting into tomorrow, but the rip current risk, again, going to stay on the higher side as we get into the weekend, the upcoming weekend. Tropical front, aside from Melissa, no new development is expected over the next 7 days. Just how we like it, as we still have a couple of weeks to go, really a month to go, officially of hurricane season. 74 tomorrow. We're back to 72 degrees on Saturday. We're keeping things in the mid-70s on Sunday. Rain chances go up a little bit. We turn things a little bit warmer getting into early next work week, Ginger.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, it's the end of an era for Brevard County Hospital. After a community fight to keep it, demolition has begun in Rockledge. Up next, an update from the process, plus what future plans are in store.
Coming up in the morning, staying safe on Halloween.
AAA says there's an added danger this year, what you need to know before you go out to celebrate.
Plus, it's going to be the coldest Halloween we have seen in years. Candace will have those hour-by-hour updates on just how low we'll go.
We'll see you for News 6 mornings starting at 6.
Tonight, a hospital is being torn down months after closing. Earlier this year, the Rockledge community attempted to get the governor to step in to stop demolition, but as News 6's Alex Cook reports, there are different plans.
Not long ago, this was the second busiest emergency room in the country. Now, the demolition process has begun here at Rockledge Hospital.
The teardown is just beginning on Thursday. Workers ripping out metal signs and railings from the parking lot while surrounding the site with chain link fence. This hospital served the area for 84 years, but this building will soon be gone. The sudden decision by Orlando Health to close down the hospital earlier this year after revealing black mold, structural issues, and corroded sanitation lines has many in the area concerned about where they will get their health care. Hospital chain Health First has plans for a new emergency room in the area, But as of now, the closest emergency rooms to the people of Rockledge and Cocoa are 8.5 miles up the road to Cape Canaveral or 21 miles to Melbourne. The work to demolish Rockledge Hospital should take about 8 weeks. In Rockledge, Alex Cook, News 6.
Here's what we're working on for News 6 at 6. Progress is being made in Titusville after the flooding, but the damage bringing questions from neighbors and leaders. And
I'm News 6 investigator Lewis Bolden. A Lake County couple says they are out of thousands of dollars after they hired a handyman who took off with their money and never did the work. What was your experience with Mr. Heasley?
Terrible. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but terrible.
Now the Lake County Sheriff's Department has issued a warrant for the man's arrest. We'll have the story tonight at 6 on News 6.
And this is a live look at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. You're watching News 6. We'll be right back. Breaking on News 6 at 6, new body cam footage showing the estranged wife of the suspended Osceola sheriff being arrested again.
What is this for?
I'll tell you that.
They're arresting me.
The wild new details that just sent her back to jail last week. Plus, as progress is made cleaning up flooding in Titusville, neighbors and a Brevard County leader are calling for more resources. And a Lake County woman says a handyman stole thousands of dollars without finishing a project.
So he just took the money and ran.
He took the money and left.
News 6 at 6 starts now. And we start with some breaking news we've been following for the past half hour. A huge backup is causing delays. This is I-4 west, I believe, right now. The two left lanes have now reopened since we first brought this to you as breaking news at 5 o'clock. They were closed earlier, but crews on scene are still clearing this part of the interstate. We're told this is near the Champions Gate area. We're working to figure out exactly what happened here, but it appears that traffic is moving, but very slowly. So if you travel in this area, it is going to be slow going because we are at the height of rush hour right now. We'll figure out what happened here and bring you the latest on air and on clickorlando.com. More breaking news now. A week ago, this was the scene in an Osceola County community. Neighbors watched as deputies arrested the estranged wife of suspended Sheriff Marcos Lopez for a second time. Now we're learning why. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest just got his hands on new documents about the arrest. So Mike, tell us what you learned.
Well, Ginger, a couple months ago, Robin Severance Lopez raised her hand in a courtroom and swore under oath that she did not have access to much money. But investigators here now say that was not true. News 6 has just obtained this police video showing Robin Severance Lopez being taken into custody last week. Now, Severance Lopez was originally arrested back in June, accused of taking part in an illegal gambling operation alongside her estranged husband, suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez. Now, Severance Lopez was eventually released from jail on bond, but she was required to wear a GPS ankle monitor, and she had to pay for it. But back in August, Severance Lopez asked a judge to remove that GPS monitor, claiming she could not afford it.
Given that you're not receiving any income from working and that your personal account is frozen, can you afford the $10 per day for the GPS monitor? No, I can't.
Now, at that August hearing, Severance Lopez testified under oath that she did not have access to any bank accounts other than the ones she shared with her estranged husband. But just days before that hearing, investigators obtained these photos that reportedly show Severance Lopez going into 2 different banks in Kissimmee and opening up 3 separate bank accounts under only her name. Now, authorities have blacked out Severance Lopez's face in these photos before giving them to us. That's because she is the spouse of a law enforcement officer. Now, on the day of that court hearing where Severance Lopez testified that she could not access her personal bank account, investigators say she had more than $16,000 sitting in those new bank accounts. So Severance Lopez has pleaded not guilty to providing false information. For now, it appears she'll remain in jail awaiting trial for her alleged role in that illegal gambling operation. Her estranged husband, the suspended sheriff, remains out of custody while he awaits trial. Reporting live in the newsroom, Mike DeForest, News 6.
All right, Mike, great work. Thank you. Well, we were the first to bring you this news along with the body cam footage just before News 6 at 4 today. Download the News 6 app and stay up to date on all the breaking news. It's free in your app store. Search WKMG. All right, this is a look at some of the flooding that we've been seeing in Brevard County in the last few days. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now with a look at our forecast and the temps out there.
Yeah, very comfortable, very dry, and we need that extended dry period to dry things out after the flooding from the weekend. We're back to the upper 60s right now in Oviedo, 68 degrees in Kissimmee, Groveland. Good evening. We are at 67. We have a few clouds out there. Those are gradually going to erode through their evening as drier air even continues to pour back in. By 11 o'clock, we're slipping back to the upper 50s, upper 40s and lower 50s when you wake up tomorrow morning. That's a few degrees cooler than what we woke up to this morning. We'll take a closer look at temperatures around Central Florida for when you wake up and for trick-or-treating tomorrow, Halloween, coming up at about 6:17, Ginger.
Jonathan, thank you. Now to that look at some of the flooding we've been seeing in Brevard County in the last few days. A scene showing damaged roads where cars simply cannot drive and people getting creative in how they get around, even if it means kayaking. Your Titusville community correspondent James Barbero has been on the ground with flood victims all week who say this is a problem they've been dealing with for quite a while.
After 15 inches of rain fell in just 12 hours Sunday night, historic flooding is starting to recede a little bit here in these Titusville neighborhoods. I just watched this car drive through Parkland Street. That couldn't have happened just the other day.
This is our first time getting out.
That being said, just being able to drive again is only one step towards a long recovery for these people.
I quoted Martin Luther King. I'm free at last. I'm free at last. Thank God I'm free at last.
As the county commissioner for North Brevard County, Katie Delaney represents the people who've been struggling all week. Katie, what's your message to our neighbors right now? For some of them, it might feel like the longest week of their lives.
Right. I'm so sorry for all the struggles that people are going through right now. This is unprecedented flooding that we haven't really seen here before. We're doing everything we can to try to get resources out to people.
About resources, what's going to be the reality for some of these folks who might be expecting federal aid? It might not be there this time?
Yeah, unfortunately, somewhere around 150 to 200 homes have to have at least a foot of water in their homes to trigger that federal help.
Some of these neighbors are blaming the flooding on drains not being cleared out.
We've had a problem for a while.
Do you think those concerns should have been addressed a long time ago?
Yes, absolutely. It's really frustrating because I feel like a lot of us have been talking about this for a really long time, kind of ringing the bell that this day is coming.
As pumps continue helping to remove water, I was encouraged by what a good attitude the neighbors here I met have. Brett and Denise Annan told me the experience brought neighbors closer together.
You just make the best of it and thank the Lord that everything is still good.
And our reporting on recovery efforts continues on clickorlando.com. We'll keep you updated on all ways victims can get help. In Brevard County, I'm your Titusville community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Starting today, Brevard County neighbors can get a flood cleanup kit at several locations. You can see those right there on your screen. The kits are available through the locations during normal hours. Keep in mind, some of these locations are closed on Sunday. A criminal case leading to a war of words between two state officials wrapped up today. Tina Algeo pleaded no contest to an aggravated battery charge in connection with a deadly road rage shooting in Orlando. She's been sentenced to 18 months behind bars as part of her plea deal. Her charge of second-degree murder was dropped. This case has led to a public back and forth between Florida Attorney General James Uthmeier and the state attorney for Orange and Osceola counties, Monique Worrell. After today's hearing, Worrell once again took time to speak about the heated disagreement.
Based on the interference of the Attorney General, this is the justice that this case has come to.
The Attorney General had been urging a judge to dismiss the case and said Algeo acted in self-defense. He posted on social media today saying, in part, he is happy State Attorney Worrell took their advice and dropped the unjust murder charge. He goes on to say he will continue to protect the right of stand your ground against violent aggressors. It has now been 30 days since the government shutdown, and the expiration of SNAP benefits is Saturday. Your West Orange County community correspondent Tylisa Hampton spoke with the Winter Garden Food Pantry about how they're already seeing it affect them.
Take a look at these empty roll of shelves here at Matthews Hope Food Pantry in Winter Garden. This is some of the things that they're saying they're dealing with because they've been seeing more people come through their doors. And they say if SNAP does come to an end, it will only cause more of an issue.
Helping out where he can.
I'll mark the barcode.
For Matthews Hope volunteer David Stamper, like others who come in on SNAP, he does not just find it essential, but a lifeline.
Mentally, having that security, to have like food on the table or, having a meal for the next day, that's the worry.
With the possibility of SNAP benefits at risk of stalling as the government shutdown continues, Matthews Hope Food Pantry in Orange County is seeing their shelves scarce.
How much pressure would you say you all are feeling?
At this point, the need has grown so much. We go through between $15,000 and $20,000 of food resources net daily.
Over 41 million people are enrolled in SNAP, according to the United States Department of Agriculture, and 2.9 million are enrolled in Florida.
Having EBT gave me that help. I didn't have to fully rely on the pantry, and now I'm gonna need to be, 100%, relying on that.
One woman says how she wanted to be on SNAP, but now she's afraid that option will not come soon.
It helped me a lot with eating, because I don't have enough money to eat after I pay my bills.
Those with the food pantry say almost all of their donations are from the community.
Unless I learn how to print money soon, I can only do what I can do.
The good news is, as they say they put out a call for help online, they're now seeing more food come in. But the worry of SNAP benefits are in the minds of many.
Like I pray every day, each and every day about it, that there's going to be a better way for it to come.
And those with Matthews Hope, they say despite them going through all of this, they say they will continue to help those in need as long as they can. Reporting, I'm your West Orange County community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton.
The government shutdown is reaching families across the state already, and it could get even more difficult. According to National Head Start Association, nearly 10% of all Head Start kids could lose access to resources. Florida would face the highest impact out of all the states Head Start supports. Now, more than 10,000 students and nearly 3,400 staff could be at risk if these schools close. We have an article up for you right now on clickorlando.com where you can find help with food in Central Florida. Just go to the website. It'll be right there on the homepage. Well, it has been far from a magic start to the season for your Orlando Magic. Another loss. What the players saying they need to do to rebound.
I'm News 6 investigator Louis Bolden. A Lake County couple says they are out of thousands of dollars after they hired a handyman who took off with their money and never did the work. Now the Lake County Sheriff's Department has issued a warrant for the man's arrest.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health, helping the communities we serve to feel whole.
An update now on some breaking news. We've been covering a huge backup causing delays on I-4 West. This is near the Champions Gate area. You can see traffic is starting to move because the two left lanes are now open after being closed earlier. But crews on scene are still clearing this part of the interstate. We're working to find out exactly what happened here. A Lake County couple says they are out of thousands of dollars after they hired a handyman who took off with their money and never did the work. Now, the Lake County Sheriff's Department has issued a warrant for the man's arrest. News 6 investigator Louis Bolden is on the case.
Yeah, this is what he was supposed to do all the way down here.
82-year-old Irene Simon says she hired a handyman to repair the skirting around the bottom of her home. The work has now been completed by another company, but she says the original one ran off with her money. What was your experience with Mr. Heasley?
Terrible. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but terrible.
Simon says she found Florida Priority Home Solutions online. She signed a contract to pay the company $3,000 for the job, with $1,500 up front, $500 in cash, and a check for $1,000.
And he was supposed to hold off on cashing that check until the end of the month.
Instead, the owner of the company, Chad Heasley, seen here on surveillance video, went to Amscot in Leesburg early and cashed the check. But the account had insufficient funds, according to the incident report.
And so what happened was Chad came to the house and he said that he needed to have the $1,000, okay, to pay back Amscot.
Simon says she gave Heasley another $1,000 to pay back Amscot, but she says he never did.
So he just took the money and ran.
He took the money and left.
Simon reported the incident to the Lake County Sheriff's Office, who has now issued a warrant for Heasley's arrest.
So if he happens to be involved in a traffic stop or he comes in an encounter with law enforcement, then he would be arrested.
News 6 did some digging and found Florida Priority Home Solutions is not registered with the state.
On the contract they signed, the address for Florida Priority Home Solutions is listed as 4421 College Drive in Orlando. That's right off Ivy Lane, but as you can see, it's an empty lot.
We called the number on the contract and got a voicemail. We also went to an address in Point Siena, but we're told he has not lived there for more than a year.
If you have any information about Heasley, you're asked to call the crime line at 1-800-423-TIPS. I'm Lewis Bolden, News 6.
All right, it is time now to check in with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. Jonathan, you have been preparing us for these beautiful days for a little while now. All week we've been ready for this, and here it is.
Yeah, that front meant business for sure. Maybe a shock to some when you step outside this morning, and it's going to be even cooler as we get into tomorrow morning, and maybe a degree or two cooler than that. Getting into your weekend, it's still a little breezy behind our front. That's a live look. Port Canaveral, Brevard County as the sun is going down tonight. Just a few lingering clouds out there. That's a live look with our Launch Credit Union camera. You can stay up to date with the forecast by downloading the free News 6 weather app. If you catch a picture of this sunset, you can also submit your photo right there in the Pin It section of the free Pinpoint weather app. And we can showcase that on TV tonight. Great looking shot here as always from the Port Cam. Temperatures back to the upper 60s under a mainly clear sky. 21 mile per hour sustained breeze though. Certainly a bite to it tonight. 66 in Leesburg. We are at 68 degrees in Palm Coast. Upper 60s for us in Daytona Beach. Holopah. Good evening. We're back to 71. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency? You ought to call Strata.
Hour by hour forecast getting to the rest of the evening. The temperature is falling pretty quickly. We're back to the lower 60s by 9, back to the upper 50s by 1. And getting into tomorrow morning, we're going to slip back to the mid 50s on the other side of midnight. I think a lot of us are going to wake up into the 40s and 50s. We did reach the 40s in Ocala this morning. We hit 48 degrees. 56 degrees in Orlando, coolest morning we have felt in the city. Beautiful, and almost 200 days behind that front. Again, that front doing a couple of things, not only cooling us down, but this is the one we've been advertising for 10 plus days that would keep Melissa off of our shores. It will continue to increase the rip current risk if you're going to the beaches. Might be a little too cool for the beaches, but if you are getting into the water, just make sure you're being safe out there because the rip currents are going to be on the higher side because of Melissa. Overnight tonight, we lose some of those clouds. You see it there, clear skies through the overnight into tomorrow afternoon. Trick-or-treating tomorrow, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, looking very, very nice. Might be on the cooler side again. Might want the jacket if you're out trick-or-treating with the kids. Air temperatures in the afternoon, though, very nice. Upper 60s and lower 70s across the board. Sunshine dominant throughout the course of the afternoon, and we're going to keep things very nice over the next couple of days as well. 74 tomorrow, 72 degrees on Saturday after a start in the upper 40s and lower 50s again. Same deal when you wake up on Sunday morning. We're into the mid 70s for highs. I do think we increase clouds a little bit more getting into early parts of next week. Rain chances going up a smidge back to 30% on Monday.
Jonathan, thank you. All right, Sports Director Jamie Say is here now. Jamie, Thursday night lights are on?
Yeah, we've got high school football games tonight. How exciting is that, right? There is a huge matchup at Boone High School tonight, too. It's an historic rivalry that has even bigger stakes tonight. I'll explain. A preview is on the way. And we had a special guest at News 6. She's a Winter Garden resident, a West Orange High School grad, a doctor, and one of the best bodybuilders in the world. Ms. Olympia is next. Welcome back to News 6. We're getting a Thursday night treat as the stadium lights come on one day early. A number of high school football games are kicking off tonight, including a showdown of Orlando's two unbeatens. Here's a live look at Boone High School. The 9-0 Braves take on those guys, the 9-0 Edgewater Eagles, in the annual Battle of the Barrel. Boone hasn't beaten Edgewater since 2017. This game is all sold out. They're getting there early. News 6 will have highlights at 11. Well, did you know that today is International Day of Bodybuilding? And luckily, we have one of the best bodybuilders in the world living in Central Florida. And Natalia Coelho visited News 6 last night. The Winter Garden resident just won the title of Ms. Olympia for the second time. To put it into context, the Ms. Olympia competition is like the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. News 6 first met Natalia soon after she won Ms. Olympia in 2022. And since then, the West Orange High School grad not only returned to the top of her sport, she also earned her PhD in natural medicine. So she's Dr. Natalia Coelho and Ms. Olympia. What was your reaction when they crowned you champion?
Oh my gosh, it was the most magical moment of my life, because only we know what we go through during the training and everything that is involved. It's not only the physical body, but also the mental, the spiritual, everything that is interconnected. So when I got this medal, it was just like a feeling, a very good feeling of accomplishment, and something that I cannot even put into words, that I wish everyone in this world could feel what I was feeling in the moment.
What sacrifices have you made throughout your life to achieve the things that you wanted to achieve?
Honestly, I believe the word sacrifice doesn't really reflect what I go through, because it's not a sacrifice at all. When you find something that you love, when you find something that you're very truly, like from your heart, genuinely passionate about, you enjoy doing that. Even though I have to, stay in a very strict diet, I have a very strict schedule throughout the whole day, the whole week, the whole month, the year. I enjoy, I have fun doing what I do.
We had a great conversation. Look for more of it next week on News 6. The Orlando Magic are bearing the weight of a disappointing start to the season. They can shake some of it off tonight, though, at the Charlotte Hornets. The Magic lost their fourth straight game last night in Detroit. Pistons won the game 135-116, scoring 60 points in the paint, taking advantage of 17 Magic turnovers. This was the second straight game that the Magic defense gave up over 130 points. The team is 1-4.
We got to guard. You got to take some pride on defense.
I feel like it's not the first game in a short season that we go off the court feeling like we didn't play as hard as we can. So no, that's unacceptable.
We just got to play with more heart.
All right, Jamie, thank you. We have some breaking news right now. We're working to figure out why Orlando International Airport is under a ground delay. On average, flights are running around 3 hours behind, according to an air traffic control advisory from the FAA. The delays are caused by staffing problems. The advisory does not specify what's causing the staffing problems, though, but I think we can figure that one out. We're reaching out to figure out exactly what's going on here. We'll let you know when we learn more and when flights get back on track. In the meantime, you can join us for more local news at 9 o'clock on clickorlando.com and the News 6 Plus streaming app. Have a good night. We also have some breaking news on that traffic backup for you. We'll get to that at 9 o'clock as well. Bye.